I like babka a lot, and I'm making some during this episode.
Make French toast with babka.
I just like regular babka. I never.
Well,
It never.
I know. I'm just saying, like you get to the back end of your loaf of babka, and it's starting to get kind of like dry out.
Okay, here's the thing with me and babka. It never gets to the point where it dries out because that bitch is gone in a day or two.
That's valid, honestly.
So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's still good though. I highly recommend it.
Welcome to Learning Ropes. My name is Matt. With me, as always, we got Andrew.
What's up?
And we got the orangutan himself, the young lion, Tyler. Tyler, what's going on with your life right now?
Should I start like an OnlyFans or something? Do you think people would pay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I got four guaranteed subs.
So it's me, Danny. Who else? Who else are the guaranteed subs?
Excuse you, me?
Andrew, other Matt.
Oh yeah.
I got 4 guaranteed.
You got 4. That's
That's like $20 a month.
That's like
$20
a month, depending on your pricing. If you charge like $5 a month,
that's pretty good actually. That's like a coffee or two.
Yeah, it's like for supplementary income starting out, not bad.
It's more than what we make with this podcast.
So
wait,
far.
there's other Matt. There's cousin Matt. There's Teddy's cousin Matt wants to fuck me. He'd definitely pay too.
Wait, we make money from this podcast?
No.
Tyler,
we might at some point.
Tyler, I think we need to unionize. I think Matt's
unionize.
using all the profit for himself.
Where are our quarters? All right, we get quarters off this.
Dude, I'm talking like this. I'm gonna get busted like Jesse Ventura.
I am Vince. No, I'm not. Fuck. No, I'm not Vince.
Anybody seen the new Predator movie, Prey?
No, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Watched it yet? Yeah, I'm thinking about watching it tonight. Jesse Ventura gave it his blessing. He said it's great, and he was in the first Predator. He says a slur in that movie, but I'll let him have it, honestly, because that whole section's based. I want to become a sexual tyrannosaurus, just like Jesse the Body Ventura. Please tell me anyone but me on this podcast knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I do. I was just gonna let you kind of like dig your own grave a little bit. Yeah.
Understandable.
Anyway, wrestling
the ropes.
Anyway,
we're in the episode.
What do I know about the person that you're gonna ask me about? Because we haven't done this already.
Hey, Tyler, what do you know about King of the Ring?
Nothing.
Matt, hit him up with some knowledge.
So the King of the Ring is a single elimination tournament, usually occurring mostly in like all throughout the course of one night. In later iterations, it does happen over multiple nights, with the winner being crowned that year's King of the Ring.
Now, Tyler, I'm sure you're asking, what does it mean to be crowned King of the Ring? What does that mean? What does that do for you?
Does it do anything?
No, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
It was so. I think of it like as people have pointed out, smarter people than I. Pro wrestling is kind of like a Western extension of anime in a lot of ways. Like the best live action adaptation the West has made of any anime of all time. That anime, mostly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But I think of like the King of the Ring as like a tournament arc in an anime like Dragon Ball or something like that. It's an excuse to to showcase some of the guys that they have coming up, and it's kind of used as like a stepping off point to crown new stars or to showcase like particular talent. It's like a microcosm made up of a bunch of small stories with decent stakes because it's a tournament. And so you always have at least the stakes of I want to advance through the tournament, and that the best wrestler wins. And so they use it to kind of showcase talent.
Yeah, and at one point they do make it so that if you win the King of the Ring, you're given a WWE title match, but we'll get to that particular point later. one of the other things that does come with winning King of the Ring, though, is being stuck with a king gimmick. It doesn't happen yet, but you'll see as King of the Ring kind of goes on. If you win King of the Ring, you're kind of stuck wearing a cape and crown for like a year.
Yep. It'll be really funny when we don't cover like a King of the Ring tournament later on, because it's not King of the Ring's not always like the most important thing to happen in wrestling. And so we might not cover some of them, but you'll be able to know who was that year's King of the Ring, because maybe they'll show up in a random match and they'll come out wearing a crown and a cape. Because it almost always happens, and it's almost never good. It turns out being a monarchist sucks, even if it's in kayfabe. That's right.
Yeah.
I would like to be king. This might be a dissenting opinion. I would like to be a king, to be honest.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool, sure, but like...
I would like to personally be one.
I would decree that Tyler has to have an OnlyFans.
To be a king? God, hey,
no,
you want to be king?
If I was a king, my one decree would be Tyler is required to have an OnlyFans.
Anyway, yeah, for a while, King of the Ring is its own pay-per-view, and it's actually one of the first big 5 WWF pay-per-views until its eventual disestablishment after the 2002 King of the Ring. Like, WWE would keep doing the tournament on occasion. Most recently, it did one in 2021, so last year. But it hasn't really... It's sort of been a declining thing in the eyes of the fans for a while. And so eventually its pay-per-view gets taken away. But today, we are going to watch not just one match, but a series of matches from the King of the Ring pay-per-view and tournament from 1993, which is the first ever King of the Ring, period. Definitely first ever.
There totally weren't like 8 King of the Ring tournaments beforehand that were untelevised.
Oh, okay. Sure. I believe you guys.
Yeah, this is totally for real the first ever King of the Ring tournament. There has not been any ones before. Macho Man and Bret Hart totally weren't King of the Ring before this.
Yeah.
Bret Hart, the wrestler.
Which also kind of, as a tangent here, illustrates something that will continue to be important over the history of this wrestling promotion, WWF/E, as well as mostly kind of outside of WWF, but it's truest for Vince's company. If it doesn't happen in front of a camera, it didn't happen at all.
And sometimes, even if it did happen in front of a camera, it didn't happen.
Much like his own personal life.
Yep.
And legal litigations that have followed.
Now, we're not going to talk about that, but what we are going to talk about is that up to the King of the Ring pay-per-view, they had qualifying matches in order to qualify for the tournament. It's an 8-man tournament, so they had 16 wrestlers vying to qualify. The 8 who do qualify are Bret Hart, who was just given entry, did not have to have a qualifying match. Mr. Hughes, who defeats Kamala to qualify. Razor Ramon, who beats Tito Santana. And Mr. Perfect, who defeats Doink the Clown.
There's also Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who defeated Papa Shango to get into the tournament. Bam Bam Bigelow, who defeated Typhoon. Lex Luger, who defeated Bob Backlund. And Tatanka, who defeated the Giant Gonzalez to qualify for the tournament.
And now our first match on our path through the King of the Ring tournament is going to be between 2 guys you're already familiar with vaguely, Tyler.
Huh?
It's going to be quarterfinals of the King of the Ring 1993. We're going to see Bret Hitman Hart versus the bad guy Razor Ramon.
This is going to be good.
And let's go watch the match.
I can tell you already it's going to be good because it's got Bret Hart in it.
We're back from match number 1. Tyler, what were your thoughts on your first King of the Ring match?
The first thing about this match is that both those guys are great at selling, and it's so fun to watch. Those guys both sell like crazy, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been going on a Razor kind of deep dive recently, just like watching because YouTube decided to start recommending me Razor stuff. Who knows why? And one of the things that he talked about was like a lot of big guys would go to him and be like, "Why are you flipping? Why are you doing all these flips in the ring? You're a big guy. All you gotta do is like punch, kick. That's all you gotta do." And he's like, "Listen, I'm not like that."
Yeah, he's fun to watch. But let's see, my thoughts are scattered. The first half of the match, Bret Hart's just getting like walloped or so. I don't know. Could have done with a little bit more back and forth. But like once like he had like his comeback moment, that's a lot of fun. And that fucking ending, the finisher, oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, just the reversing of the attempt from the top rope move.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a consequence of Bret Hart's finishing move being the sharpshooter, which is a submission. Means that he wins by roll up a lot.
At first, I didn't like it when we've seen it before, but this was a good way to execute it.
Right, and I feel like it works really well because he goes for roll ups a couple different times in the match.
Yeah,
and because it's a tournament setting, you want the match to be over as quickly as possible. Like, you know, if you're thinking about it in terms of like if it was a legitimate sporting competition, you would want to finish it as quickly as possible to be able to move on and be like good and fresh for the next match. Yeah.
But also in this one, whenever he like goes for it, it's over, or it's always like after like something more insane. Like he had the one where he did like a jumping elbow from like the high rope and then went into it, and like it always made sense in this one.
It's always motivated.
Yeah.
And because I think like Bret and like the WWF at the time, because they make it part of his like the whole like the excellence of execution, which we kind of laugh about because it's a kind of hilariously badass nickname. Like it's just best of the goodest guys is like Bret Hart's nickname. But like the whole that gimmick is like catered around the fact that like he has this sharpshooter submission that he'll tap you out with, and otherwise, like if you're not careful with Bret Hart, he will roll you onto your shoulders for 3 like while you're not paying attention before you even know what happened. And they kind of build like his persona around that rather than like nowadays you would see Bret Hart being like he would have to come up with some other finisher besides the sharpshooter to supplement when like they didn't want to have a guy tap out for whatever reason. But for Bret, it was just like, no, I'll just roll him up, like, because kayfabe's alive, and so roll up victories don't really make people look weak; it makes them look surprised. But yeah.
Now we're gonna rate this match now, and then we're gonna rate each match, you know, as they kind of happen over the course of what we're watching. So, Andrew, what are your thoughts?
So, I definitely like this match. I think that given like the right circumstances and opportunity, I think that both Razor Ramon and Bret Hart could have put on a better match together. I kind of agree. I think they overstay their welcome a little bit in Razor's beatdown on Bret. But everything else around that is pretty great. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars even.
Yeah, I think I like that it's a 15-minute time limit. And obviously, I want to see them face off again in a much larger, more kind of competitive sense. Because obviously they're not going to go for the really big high spots in this match because they don't want to risk, Bret getting hurt going into the semis and stuff compared to like in a more normal match. And so I'm going to give it 3 1/4. With that said, Tyler, what are your thoughts?
I feel weird because I might change how I view this match after we watch more of them in this tournament because like I don't know, maybe that might like impact it or like add more like weight to this match. But I think I'm probably also 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
It didn't feel like a tournament. It just felt like a short. Like it didn't feel like it was building up to something else. It just felt like a short match. You know, that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, 3. I think the first half was a little. I don't know. It could have been more fleshed out
I
and
think
maybe cut shorter.
this screams TV match to me in the way that it's like structured, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, compared to like a pay-per-view match. Which I think we can now like say because they have Raw now. Monday Night Raw is
Yeah.
a thing. They do have weekly TV now. But that's just it's an all right match. It's nothing to write home about, but it's like yeah, I'd watch it again. And Big Dave gives it 3. Kind of that makes sense,
Yeah.
Now to talk more about the tournament, this particular tournament, on the other side of the bracket, Bam Bam Bigelow defeats Jim Duggan in his quarterfinal match. And then Lex Luger and Tatanka wrestle to a 15-minute time limit draw, which actually pushes Bam Bam Bigelow straight to the finals because he would have faced the winner of Luger Tatanka. They are both out of the tournament due to the draw. And Bret obviously beats Razor here, as we saw. And now his semifinal match is going to be facing Mr. Perfect, who defeated Mr. Hughes via disqualification.
We've seen Mr. Perfect on the show a few times already. So he appeared in the 1992 Royal Rumble match, as well as he was the guy in Ric Flair's corner when Ric Flair wrestled Macho Man at WrestleMania 8 while they were trying to leak Miss Elizabeth's nudes.
Oh.
Yeah. His whole shtick in wrestling was basically that he was the perfect man, literally, Mr. Perfect. Um, Before his debut, and like kind of around when he was starting out, they shot a bunch of vignettes of him doing things perfectly. Like making like a half court shot backwards on like a basketball court. These vignettes were legendary. There's kind of a tradition in wrestling of sometimes when you want to make a guy debuting feel like a big deal, you'll show a bunch of like vignettes and stuff where you're like, it'll be this guy coming to Raw next week or whatever, to kind of prime people for when he's going to show up, and to let people know that he's a big deal. And so we're gonna watch actually one of Mr. Perfect's vignettes right now. We're back from the vignette. I don't know if we broke for the vignette. We're back
We're
from the
back.
vignette.
Now, what do
Boy.
you think about Mr. Perfect?
Ooh. Oh. I don't. I burped. He. Fuck. He seems like kind of a bad guy. I don't know. I don't know. I know he's perfect. Maybe he's the perfect bad guy. That's what it is. Because he's so perfect. Seems like he'd be kind of annoying if I'm being honest.
Well, during his tenure, he kind of
Let's just
developed.
say he's the kind of guy I'd want Bret Hart to beat.
That's fair. During his tenure, he does kind of develop a reputation as being one of the best workers on the roster. He puts on entertaining matches with like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, a bunch of other guys, mostly for the Intercontinental Championship, which he kind of becomes a legendary Intercontinental Championship in the long run. Intercontinental Champion in the long run.
And yeah, he did spend
Becomes
a
a
bunch of
championship.
time. Like, you're kind of right to think of this guy as like to look at Mr. Perfect and be like, that's kind of annoying. Because he spends like,
He's largely a heel.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, anyway, now we're gonna watch Mr. Perfect wrestle the Hitman in the semifinals, and this one should be good.
And we're back from the match. Now, Tyler, what did you think of the finals of the King of the Ring?
It was fucking great. It was fantastic. I feel like most beat 'em up matches, where it's like one guy just getting like his ass kicked for like the whole match doesn't usually work, but this time it really, really worked.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of like, I mean, one, Bam Bam's great at being that kind of heel. Bret is great at being the guy taking all those moves,
Yeah.
and like the story is kind of already laid out for them. Like, of course, that's what that match was gonna be, you know?
Yeah.
Bret Hart just like wrestled like 20 minutes ago.
He literally came out like limping to the ring, like not like 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 a not like he's debilitated, like he can still move, but like he came out very clearly favoring that knee. His fingers are still taped up, like they continued emphasizing throughout the whole tournament that like Bam Bam got a bye to the finals, Bret didn't. Like somehow Bret has to pull it out, and he does. He wins. Bret Hart's king of the ring. Look at him go. What a guy.
I think probably my favorite part of that match is when he does get he does get 3 counted the first time, and then they're like debating, and he's just dying still. He's just like,
Yeah.
huh? What? I have to keep going, huh?
Yeah,
he's
because
just getting nuked.
someone comes out, I believe it's Linda Vachon, right? Something like that.
Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon.
Vachon comes out, hits Bret Hart with a steel chair. Bret Hart gets rolled in the ring, eats like a backdrop by Bam Bam, and then a headbutt off the top rope. Like gets pinned for 3, but the decision gets overturned and the match continues.
Yeah, Bret Hart is just like dead.
Yeah.
Bret, I mean, it's like yeah, he just technically like lost a match right there.
It's like he lost, and then like he's not even aware of the fact that they like overturned the decision. It's like Bam Bam starts beating him up, and he's like, "Oh, if I'm getting beat on still, that must mean the match is still on. I better try to win." and then he does. Because he's the fucking hitman. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
The excellence of execution, the Iron Man of the WWF. What else do they call him?
Dude, I don't know. I think we covered the big ones.
I think he gets nicknamed the Sharpshooter, and then he makes the move the Sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Technically, right now, he's the King of Hearts.
True. He is the King of Hearts.
He's the King of the Ring, the King of Wrestling.
Hell yeah. And yeah, I think this match is great. I think it's really well done. Bam Bam, like you don't see all of what Bam Bam is capable of, because I kind of think of this match as like Bret's take on the Hulk Hogan kind of match.
Yeah.
Which is like he had to have a whole tournament in order to earn being beaten down for that long. And also like it ends up being better anyway, like because it feels more it feels more earned, it feels more planned out. And they also
Sorry, go on.
No, my bad. They allow for like more back and forth anyway. Because like there's still like even after they reverse the decision, and Bret Hart gets to start coming back a little bit, like they still give you like at least one good false finish for Bam Bam Bigelow. It's just really, I think it's well done.
This is potentially a hot take, especially given Matt's opinion on this match. I feel like this does the spectacle better than Andre versus Hogan does. Just because, like, I feel like in that match, like he doesn't really get beat down at all. Where in this one, fucking Bret Hart gets his ass kicked for like 20 minutes, like straight, and then he comes back. And I don't know. To me, like that spectacle works so much better than like almost every match that like we've seen so far. Especially when you can tell he's just done at the halfway point. he's so done and he comes back. It's great. It works so well.
Now let's talk ratings for this match. What do you guys think?
I am gonna give it 3 stars.
3
Just
stars
like
from
the
Andrew.
Razor match. I
Interesting.
think like it's one of those. I like the fact that it was still like Bret gets beat down for all of it. Maybe I'll let me amend that. I'm gonna go with like 375.
That's a big jump.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 3/4 of an extra star. It's like I think it's very good. But like I still find it lacking in some important ways. Like I do think I like this match more than I liked Bret's match with Razor from earlier in the card. But I still kind of think it's a little bit it's missing some stuff that it could have used. A little bit more like I think Bret, like, despite, the whole tournament being bent towards giving Bret the excuse to get beaten down for 90% of this match, I feel like I could have used a couple more hope spots during that segment, just to like keep getting the crowd geared up for Bret making a comeback and getting his win. Otherwise, though, like I said, I think both guys are put in amazing work in this match.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate it a little bit higher than you did. I'm gonna rate it as 4 stars. I think this is better than the Razor match that we got. I think it's, a selling masterclass by Bret. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it.
I think I'm also gonna give it 4, just because like I do kind of like watching Bret just get like crushed for like a bit, because it's fun to watch. He makes it so much fun to watch that like I'm never bored when he's just getting tossed around, or like I don't know. He sells so well that I think I like those kind of matches. Like, and I do like it more when he comes back. But like, yeah, like I was never like tired of him getting his ass kicked. Like,
Yeah.
it was always fun to watch. It was always entertaining, and like he sells exhaustion so well that
Oh,
it
yeah.
just works. Like I would be like he's like actually dead. Like and like it just sells. It's so perfect. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that match.
Yeah, and like the ratings for me, it's almost hard to separate rating this match versus rating like the overarching story over the 3 tournament matches.
Yeah,
Um,
because it kind of all builds to this, and I think it does pay off.
right. It's like, yeah, this is the ultimate payoff for the story told in the other 2 matches. Like it is a trilogy of matches altogether. It's a complete story altogether, rather than like in any other match where it'd be just this one match and it's done. I was gonna say something else, but it has left my mind. So Andrew, why don't you speak for a little bit?
I mean, like, yeah, let's cut this.
Oh, I
cut
remember. It's fine.
Because I'm like, what do I talk about?
What I also really liked about this match is like Bam Bam winning, like you kind of bought it. Like Bam Bam scoring the pinfall,
fucking...
it was like, oh, that's over. It's done. Bret lost.
Yeah, the fucking share thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can believe that. And then they uncall it. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, they come out and they somebody in the back was watching that happen, and ran out to the ring to make sure that Bam Bam Bigelow didn't get that unearned win. But you bought it would be like, it's a very convincing like false finish. It's also just funny because like that that situation very rare in professional wrestling.
Most of the time, yeah, someone comes out, hits you with a chair, and that's it.
Yeah,
Also-
someone comes out, hits you with a chair while the referee's back is turned, you lose, and then everyone's just fine with it.
I think it's also so funny because everyone is involved in that except Bret because he's just lying on the ground following.
Yeah. You have two refs. You have fucking
Bam
Howard
Bam.
Finkel
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
then
Bam Bam all just like, no, what? Yes, reverse it. No, reverse it. No, no, no. Bret's
and then
just
help me, please. He's just dying.
get medical attention. I am not okay. Uh,
Somebody help me.
I don't know if that was intentional, but oh my, it makes it so much
Yeah.
better. Like she's just.
yeah. And that is it for us for this week. Tyler, any last words of wisdom?
Oh yeah, hang on. I had it pulled up and I switched Twitter accounts halfway through. Don't empathetically go fuck yourself. So do it in an
Fantastic,
empathetic way.
fantastic. And of course, remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. You can find us on Twitter now.
Remember to watch Prey because it's endorsed by our king Jesse Ventura.
Yes, and next week you're gonna catch us on the Lex Express. Have a good week, everyone.